Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about Indestructible Noise Command and their latest album, Terrible Things, out March 8th. This is a self-release, and this album has 10 tracks and it's 45 minutes in length. This is the band's 5th full-length album. The moment I sat down to listen to this record, I really felt like this was an old-school thrash metal album, thrash metal record. It really had a lot of that late 80s, early 90s sound to it. Those nuances that those bands around that time were putting on their thrash metal, that specific style, the specific grit that metal had at that time is very noticeable and very visible on this record. Now, the more I started listening to the record, the more I started diving into the record, the more I felt that there were a few other influences directly onto this album. There was a little bit of that New York style hardcore to it, and also a little bit of crossover thrash. So to me, these are the main three parts, condiments if you will, from this record. Now, I feel that the overall vibe, the overall DNA and structure of this album is really a thrash metal album, but you cannot deny the influences that you hear on the record from the hardcore New York scene as well as the crossover thrash metal. So I really feel like this is basically the baseline that you have when you sit down to listen to this record. Now, to me, this record is filled with aggression, filled with violence, and even lunacy. There's a little bit of devil-may-care attitude within this record. It has blistering riffs, hooky chorus, killer bass lines. They really use the bass a lot on this record, which I really dig, and very well-executed solos. Overall, this is really the picture that you have, and this is what you're going to get when you sit down to listen to Terrible Things. The album is very violent in nature as far as the guitar sound is concerned. It's heavy at times, melodic at others, never losing the heaviness even when it gets more melodic. And to me, one of the key components of this record is how catchy, how hooky the choruses are throughout the album. I really felt a connection to those choruses. It had just a simplicity to it that really allows the listener to gravitate towards them, to listen to them, learn them, and start singing them along immediately. The second time a chorus comes around, you already feel like you've heard this song a million times. The lyrics are simple in nature, and that is one of the characteristics that really allows the listener to connect with those choruses, to make the choruses even more hooky and more catchy, is to have that simplicity in the lyrics. I really like that. I really like how that connects to the raw vibe that you get from the guitar sound, from the drums, to the heaviness that you get from the guitars, and from the melody that you get in certain riffs and certain songs. It's really important to have that blend in order to make the songs really work. They were able to do that on this record. They really combine heaviness, grooviness, melody with aggression, with violence, and the way the vocals come across, the way they deliver the songs, because like I said, the lyrics are very simple, but because the way they come across in terms of how the delivery of those lyrics is done with that style of vocals is really appropriate to it. A little bit of a raspiness to the vocal delivery, a little bit of an aggression to the voice, a little bit of violence into how the lyrics are delivered to the listener. I really like that. I really like that dynamic within this record. I will say that also the drums on this album are a huge source of aggression when you combine them with the guitars. Overall, the drums are very heavy on the record, and when you add them to the speed that the guitar riffs bring to the songs, you really have a 1-2 punch on every single song. The two pair up perfectly, and then when you have that raspiness to the vocals coming in, when you have that aggression in the vocal style and the vocal delivery, you really have the perfect combination for you to get aggression, violence, and still get a lot of melody out of this record. The solos on the album are really well executed. I mentioned this earlier, and I really feel like it's one of the condiments of this record. I feel like I have to mention that. I really like what they did with the solos on the record. I like the melody that the solos brought to the songs, but I also like how they incorporated them into the songs. In certain songs, they added more melody, and certain songs, they added a little bit faster tempo, and then there's other songs where they're just heavy in nature, but still very melodic. They always did something different with the solo on every single track. They placed them in a different spot of the track, and some of them they acted as a bridge, and some of them was more towards the end of the song. They always created something unique about how the solos work within the tracks and what kind of life the solo brought to the song. It really feels like each single solo was not only designed specifically for that song, was really designed for the overall message that the song was trying to bring. So would either enhance the lyrics or enhance the overall melody, vibe, or pure aggression that the song had. So it was really important for them to create solos that added something to the song more than just a really cool melody, that it really added to the flavor, to the nature of the song. Now, as favorite songs are concerned, there was 3 that immediately caught my eye. One of them is Identifier, is the second track on the album. I love this song, and one of the reasons I love this song is the killer bass line that this song has. The bass is really predominant in this song. It really comes across a lot. You can really hear it coming through, and that really creates a really cool vibe to the song. It gives the song that hardcore New York style vibe that I really like, and that I feel that really fits perfectly with this band and specifically with this song. I really like how they used it. I like how it was used specifically on this track. Not over the top, very subdued, but still enough there for you to notice it. This is a song that has a lot of heaviness to it, has some killer riffs as well, specifically the riff that they use in the chorus. It really added to how hooky the chorus was when you have this kind of a riff, this kind of a melody, if you will. The two just really worked well together, and it's one of the songs on the album that I feel that it's just building up, filled with aggression, just pouring out of the cup, if you will. A song that makes you want to take your shirt off, rip it apart, and just pound your chest. It's just a song filled with testosterone. I just absolutely love this track. Another one of those tracks that I really enjoyed was Declaration. Great riff. It really has a great melody overall. This song has. It's really filled with melody. It has the perfect combination of melody and aggression, and when you add the vocals to it, it really brings life to the song. This is another song that really has a hooky and catchy chorus. It's really predominant throughout the record, but I really feel like the ones that I mentioned now, it's even more so. This one, it adds something different. It really has a different vibe to it. Vocally, I like what they did in this song differently from Identifier. The two songs have a similar structure to it, but they have different condiments. In this song specifically, they added some backing vocals to the track that really gives a live sense to the song. It almost brings a song that would work extremely well in a live setting into the studio by adding those backing vocals, and those backing vocals come in and out in different parts of the song. But I really feel that it adds something. It adds a different condiment to the song. It adds a sense of a song that's, like I said, perhaps performed live but brought into the studio, and it just adds some aggression and some volume to a song that has a lot of melody. It was really important to add those backing vocals for that reason as well. Now, last but not least, Salmonella. I really like this song, very different from the previous two. The previous two have a sense of heaviness and a sense of speed to them, and also some melody in key parts. This song is, to me, has a different structure to it. It's a song that really alternates heavy and fast with heavy and slow. It has a different methodology to it, if you will. I really like the short bursts that the song starts out with, bursts of a heavy guitar riff coming in and out of the song, I really like that. It really created a sense of built-up tension. Perhaps that's the best way to describe it. It gave it a sense of built-up tension. I really like that. It just has a very cool dynamic to it. There are slower moments in the song. The song is heavy and fast overall, but there are slower moments in the song. Now, the slower moments of the song are just enough to allow you to catch your breath from those heavier, faster tempos. Also, what those slower moments does to this specific track, it creates a sense of darkness. It really gives the song a dark embrace. A song that has different key moments, but this specific, the slowed down parts of the track, to me, are very important to make the overall song really work. Because this song has a pure aggression and heaviness to it. When you slow it down on those specific moments and you bring a sense of darkness to the track, you add a different dimension to the song. You give a lot more texture, you give a lot more volume to the overall feel of the song, and it really makes the song work well. It also makes the faster tempos and the faster moments of the song feel even faster and even heavier, because you have those breathing moments that come in and out of the track that slows down things, but also makes the other parts of the song feel even faster, even heavier. So from that perspective, it's really well played, really well created, because it gives the song a sense of being even heavier and faster than what it really is. I also love the solo on this track. The solo on this track is my favorite solo throughout the album. I really like what they did here because they created a solo that was very melodic, that really played more towards the slower parts of the song, those slower breathing moments, and less towards the heavier, faster moments of the song. Having said that, it still has a lot of melody to it. It's a little bit extended, and I really like what they did it because it created a bridge that unified two much faster and heavier moments of the song. The solo came in between and just really unified the song from that perspective. It gave it a sense of continuation. I really enjoy what they did with the solo on this specific track, and I like how the solo sounded, my favorite solo of the album. This is it. This Indestructible Noise Command with their brand new record, Terrible Things. Support these guys. They're self-releasing their album on March 8th. I really enjoyed. For any fan of crossover thrash, hardcore, and thrash metal, old school thrash metal from the late 80s to the early 90s, this album is a must pick up because it's extremely violent, aggressive, fast, heavy, has all of those components in it, great vocal delivery, super catchy and hooky choruses with very simple lyrics that really work well. All these condiments are really coming together to create a super fun album to listen to, very dynamic. I really enjoy it. Alright guys, this is it for me, but let me know your thoughts on the band, the record, your favorite songs. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.